Gertrude Jekyll, November 29, 1843, December 8, 1932, was a British horticulturist, garden designer, artist, and writer. She created over 400 gardens in the United Kingdom, Europe and the United States, and wrote over 1,000 articles for magazines such as Country Life and William Robinson's The Garden. Jekyll has been described as a premier influence in garden design by English and American gardening enthusiasts. Early life. Jekyll was born at 2 Grafton Street, Mayfair, London, the fifth of the 7 children of Captain Edward Joseph Hill Jekyll, an officer in the Grenadier Guards, and his wife Julia Hammersley. Her younger brother, Walter Jekyll, an Anglican priest, sometime minor canon of Worcester Cathedral and chaplain of Malta, was a friend of Robert Louis Stevenson, who borrowed the family name for his famous novella Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In 1848 her family left London and moved to Bramley House, Surrey, where she spent her formative years. Themes. Jekyll was one half of one of the most influential and historical partnerships of the arts and crafts movement, thanks to her association with the English architect, Edwin Lutyens, for whose projects she created numerous landscapes, and who designed her home Munstead Wood, near Godalming in Surrey. In 1900, Lutyens and Jekyll's brother Herbert designed the British Pavilion for the Paris Exposition. Jekyll is remembered for her outstanding designs and subtle, painterly approach to the arrangement of the gardens she created, particularly her hardy flower borders. Her work is known for its radiant color and the brush-like strokes of her plantings. It is suggested by some that the impressionistic style schemes may have been due to Jekyll's deteriorating eyesight, which largely put an end to her career as a painter and watercolorist. In works like Color Schemes for the Flower Garden, reprinted 1988, she put her imprint on modern uses of warm and cool flower colors in gardens. Jekyll was one of the first of her profession to take into account the color, texture, and experience of gardens as the prominent authorities in her designs, and she was a lifelong fan of plants of all genres. Her theory of how to design with color was influenced by painter J.M.W. Turner and by Impressionism, and by the theoretical color wheel. Later in life, Jekyll collected and contributed a vast array of plants solely for the purpose of preservation to numerous institutions across Britain. This pure passion for gardening was started at South Kensington School of Art, where she fell in love with the creative art of planting, and even more specifically, gardening. At the time of her death, she had designed over 400 gardens in Britain, Europe and a few in North America. Jekyll was also known for her prolific writing. She penned over 15 books, ranging from Wood and Garden and her most famous book Color in the Flower Garden, to memoirs of her youth. Jekyll did not want to limit her influence to teaching the practice of gardening, but to take it a step further to the quiet study of gardening and the plants themselves. Her concern that plants should be displayed to best effect even when cut for the house, led her to design her own range of glass flower vases. Jekyll later returned to her childhood home in the village of Bramley, Surrey to design a garden in Snowdinham Lane called Millham. She was also interested in traditional cottage furnishings and rural crafts, and concerned that they were disappearing. Her book Old West Surrey, 1904, records many aspects of 19th century country life, with over 300 photographs taken by Jekyll. Gardens. From 1881, when she laid out the gardens for Munstead House, built for her mother by John James Stevenson, Jekyll provided designs or planned planting for some 400 gardens. More than half were directly commissioned, but many were created in collaboration with architects such as Lutyens and Robert Lorimer. Most of her gardens are lost. A small number have been restored, including her own garden at Munstead Wood, the gardens of Hestercombe House, and the garden at the Manor House in Upton Gray that she designed for the magazine editor Charles Holm. Awards. Jekyll was awarded the Victoria Medal of Honour of the Royal Horticultural Society in 1897 and the Veitch Memorial Medal of the Society in 1929. Also in 1929, she was given the George Robert White Medal of Honor of the Massachusetts Horticultural Society. Death. Jekyll is buried in the churchyard of Busbridge Church, formerly known as St. John the Baptist, Busbridge, Godalming, next to her brother and sister-in-law, Herbert Jekyll, and his wife, the artist, writer and philanthropist Agnes Jekyll. The monument was designed by Edwin Will Tyens.